How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. Hope that you guys are all having a fantastic day. If you guys would please give this video a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy it. Subscribe, of course, if you guys haven't already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit that bell notification button. Select all for all notifications so you guys don't miss out on future content here on the channel. And we're going to be talking about Beetlejuice, aka Beetlejuice 2 from 2024. The sequel to one of Tim Burton's, if Tim Burton's best movie ever. I know that's going to be highly debatable in the comment section down below. I know a lot of people think, oh, Tim Burton's best movie is, Nightmare Before Christmas, or the recent redo of Alice in Wonderland, or whatever else he's worked on. um, I'm going to be either taking my time or rushing through this video. I apologize for my voice. I am fighting a fall cold, but I want to get this video out for you guys as soon as possible. I've waited a couple days, longer than normal, to get this video out for you guys. Because of that, and also I'm going to be discussing spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, I mean, the movie's been out for 6-7 days at this point. If you haven't seen it yet, just fair warning, I'm going to be diving into certain plot elements of the film. Nothing too heavy, spoiler-wise, but there are going to be certain points in the film that I'm going to be discussing in some detail. So please keep that in mind in case you're not wanting to be spoiled about the movie, but I mean, it's a Beetlejuice film. It's not like you're watching a Transformers movie or a Harry Potter or an MCU film and you're like, oh no, this character died and I didn't want to know this. So, yeah, I mean, it's about death, and that's what Beetlejuice has always been about, is the afterlife. So I'm like, okay, there's really nothing to spoil. So this film is rated PG-13, and if you guys have watched my Beetlejuice 1 movie from the original, you know for a fact that that film got a PG rating, and it should have gotten a minimum of a PG-13. I'm happy this one got a PG-13 because there is a lot of stuff in here that justifies a PG-13 rating. There's a couple points in the film of like, okay, we're really teetering on R, but okay, they toned it down, which is nice. So the biggest complaint that I normally have when it comes to a sequel and or prequel to a franchise that hasn't been putting out installments on a regular basis, such as this Beetlejuice franchise, is, are you going to repeat the exact same storyline as the original? Okay, the original literally came out 36 years ago. Let that sink in for a second, okay? It's been 36 years between movies. How do you make sure you don't tell the exact same story? Somehow Tim Burton was able to do that. Tim Burton does not tell the exact same story as the original. Now, that up until like the last 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, where it literally rehashes the wedding scene in order to be the save all, end all of the plot. So Beetlejuice's whole gig, I guess, is he wants to get married to one of the Dietzes, and it's the same Dietz as the original in this film, and I'm just like, really? And then they somebody calls in the sandworm from Saturn's moon to take care of the bad guys in this movie, and I'm just like, okay, we're really just doing fan service now. So for 99% of the movie, it is original ideas and original concepts. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be very harsh on this movie because I know a lot of people are like, oh, new Beetlejuice movie, it's going to be awesome. Let me tell you something. Big reality check. This film is not as good as the original. I'm going to say that again for the sake of this video. Beetlejuice 2 is not as good as the original. Also, this movie feels unnecessary. Okay? I've seen the original numerous times. Now, I'm not the biggest fan and I'm not the biggest hater of the original. This film, however, feels like corporate greed. Like it was forced upon Tim Burton to make this movie. It was forced upon Danny Elfman to come up with the soundtrack for this film, both new and old. And I just I feel like Tim Burton's creative vision has been taken over by corporate greed. Like the amount of money and the amount of time that was sunk into this film should have been spent on something new and original. And I think that's what a lot of people like myself that grew up watching or rewatching older versions of Tim Burton's films have enjoyed, is because every time he made a movie, it was an original idea. When the original Beetlejuice came out, it was an original idea. Same thing with The Nightmare Before Christmas. But recently, Tim Burton has been stuck in just doing reboots like Alice in Wonderland or sequels. Now we have Beetlejuice 2. I miss the days where Tim Burton had a creative vision and he was just telling new, fresh, innovative ideas. And this film doesn't feel like that. How do I... Beetlejuice 2, it keeps the atmosphere that Tim Burton created in the original, but there's something missing when you just put a 2 next to it instead of making it something else. And I wish that the amount of money and time spent on this film was spent on an original project. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and my age, where I'm just so sick of prequels, sequels, and reboots. Maybe I'm just getting old. But, yeah. It does keep the original tone and atmosphere of the original. Next thing I want to talk about is the runtime. This film was way too short. And I know this probably kind of sound like stupid, but somehow this film is way too short. But at the same time, it's longer than the original. The original film barely hits 90 minutes long. This film is an hour and 45 minutes. So there's an extra 15 minutes of screen time in this film. But it doesn't feel like it. It's way too short for the amount of characters and the plots in this film. Everything is rushed. There is so much happening that you're never given the time to get to know the new characters, or to get to understand and have a good depth and understanding with the plots. You never get an in-depth understanding of the old and returning characters from the first film and what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing. Or the characters that are old that aren't in the movie, or that they've moved on to a different version of the afterlife. Like the couple that died in the first film, they're just gone. They're in a better place somehow. And then the dad character gets eaten by a shark. So everything just feels... You've got... Let's see if I can write this down and remember this. You have dad killed by shark. This is how many characters are in this movie. Remember, this film is an hour and 45 minutes long. This film should have been 3 hours for the amount of characters are in it. Okay? 2. You have wife. Here comes a big spoiler. Killed by snakes. Daughter that sees dead people from the original. Daughter, played by the actress that does Wednesday. Daughter that doesn't believe in ghosts. Doesn't believe. And then she meets Casper. Then you have Casper, who is evil in this film and killed his parents, and they get no screen time. So that's 7. You have Beetlejuice, which is 8. You've got Bob, which is 9. You've got The daughter that can see the dead and commune with them. The manager guy. That's 10. Then you've got Frankenstein's Bride, which is 11. You've got William Dafoe's character, who is this actor slash cop. That's 13. You've got... Who else am I missing? Danny DeVito is in the film for all of like 2 minutes. That's 14. And I'm counting him a major character because he literally is the whole reason that the villain gets released and starts causing chaos. Who else? Who else in the movie that's actually important? There's no killer dog. Oh, Sandworm. He's an important character. I'm trying to think. Who else? You get my point. There's a list of characters. Like, for an hour and 45 minutes long. And so we're just going to leave it at 15. There's like 15 main characters in this film. That's more than in Avatar. Shit. At least with Avatar, you have a certain set of characters that you actually hang out with, like 7, 8 characters. But you get time to be able to have, you know, an arc with them and understand what they're doing. In this film, you don't. Yeah, you just don't. Now, there is, like I said earlier, there is fan service in this film, especially towards the last 15 minutes. But the fan service throughout this movie, it's done really well, and it's actually part of the story. Now, I'm going to go back to talking about the plot and characters. Mostly the plot, okay? So, I'm going to be diving into a lot of spoiler territory. Now, like I said, there's too many plots, there's too many characters. First of all, if you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about when I talk about this. Remove William Dafoe's actor slash cop plot and detective plot. Anytime that's happening, it adds nothing to the movie, both in the living world or the afterlife. Remove it, the movie wouldn't change at all. Yeah, the movie would be cut in half. I mean, the movie would lose like 10, 15 minutes, but his character adds nothing. And when the movie's over, his character and his, you know, cop group, they don't even do anything when they get to the end of the movie. They get frozen in place. They don't help out in the final battle. They just get frozen in place. Boom, done. I'm just like, remove them. They don't add anything. They don't add substance. Nothing. They don't do anything. Okay? Pointless. Remove him. Danny DeVito. He's in the film for like 2 minutes. His entire purpose in the film is a couple gags, and he's responsible for letting out the villain, in gigantic quotation marks, out of her prison, and that is it. And then he gets killed. Done. Remove him. Pointless. Figure out a better... I've written books, okay? I wrote books when I was in middle school and high school. Not just for, you know, a project, but for actual fun. And there's, you know, people said, you should publish these. So I know how to write a good story. This just baffles me about how many plots there are in this movie. Next, the film gives us a very rushed backstory of how Beetlejuice dies and introduces us to the lame villain, his first wife, and I'm just going to call her Frankenstein's Bride. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Remove her. Frankenstein's Bride, she doesn't do anything in this entire movie. She's supposed to be the big bad guy of the film. But all she does in the movie is traverses the afterlife. She's a soul sucker, so she kills you. And all she does is kills 3 nobodies. She kills Danny DeVito's character. She kills some guy at a dry cleaner place to get a dress. And then she kills off Bob. And that's it. I'm like, she doesn't do anything menacing. She doesn't... I don't even know what her goal was in the movie except to soul suck Beetlejuice because there was some sort of contract, and it would make her human forever or immortal forever and never age or never die. I saw the movie yesterday. I still don't understand what her motivation is. It's so. If the movie even tells you what it is, it gets lost, like I said, because there's so many characters, so many plots, and everything feels rushed. You don't have time to remember things. The film also needed to remove this manager love story. So the daughter from the first movie, who could see the ghost, she ends up falling in love with this manager guy, and you find out towards the end he's like, "Oh, I don't love you. I'm just using you for money." His old deal is just unnecessary. Like, he should just remove him. He doesn't really add anything except eat screen time and just add unnecessary tension. The film should have. This is going to be me telling you what the film should have done, actually, because of the good parts in the movie. The film should have focused on this ghost character, this Casper ghost, falling in love, maybe, with the daughter character that does not believe in ghosts, and the ghost tricking her so he can come back to life and she can stay in the afterlife. Should have focused on that. And him be the villain, because he wants to come back to life, and doing so would make him the main villain. And then we find out later in this movie, in actual Beetlejuice 2, that he is a murderer. He murdered his own parents. And then the cops tried to arrest him, but he ended up having an accident and died himself. The film should have focused on him being the villain. And, the grandma and the mother trying to save the granddaughter / daughter. Have the main group of characters have to call up Beetlejuice and be like, "Hey, we need your help to find my daughter. Where is she in the afterlife? And we need to take care of this prick. Because he's now alive, and he's a murderer, and he shouldn't be killing people. That's not how life is supposed to work." And then make the murderer be dead again. Very simple, but very heartfelt, family-like adventure, save your daughter kind of thing. Having a smaller plot and then expanding on it as the movie goes on is a better way to tell a story. Instead of having 50 plots and 50 characters on screen immediately all at once, and then there's no room for anything to grow. There's no time for arcs, there's no time for development, and everything just goes I don't know how people are going to be able to watch this on a loop, especially if it comes onto like cable TV or a streaming service, and people will be able to watch it from start to finish and be able to like walk away for 2 minutes, be able to come back and understand it. That's one of the beautiful things about the original Beetlejuice, is like you could watch it for like 10 minutes, run to the bathroom for a quick 30 seconds, come back, and you really haven't missed anything. I mean, you've missed a couple like small little details, but nothing substantial where you have to press rewind. In this film, you have to either press pause or rewind if you walk away from the screen for even a minute, because there's something that's going to happen that you're going to miss, and it's just wild. So last couple things to wrap this video up. I know it's going on longer, but I wanted to make my points clear. If you like the original, you're going to like this movie, without a doubt. The humor worked really well. Great usage of great usage of practical effects. And like I said, I think the ending was way too similar to the original, with the wedding and the whole sandworm thing. So if you remember how the original ended, they play a sort of a twist on it here with it at the end of this movie. But yeah, it was okay. It was an okay ending. The door is clearly left open for them to do a third. I have a doubt. I have no doubt that they're going to do a third one. I hope that it doesn't take 36 years for them to do another one, because by that point I'll be like 66, 67, and I'd like to be able to review the third one, but at that age I probably won't be making YouTube videos. I probably will be focusing on other things in my life. So, guys, thank you for watching, And if you guys have any questions, comments you guys want to make about Beetlejuice, did you guys enjoy it, why or not, let me know in the comments down below. With that, I'm going to give Beetlejuice 2 here from 2024 a 4 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to end this video. I'm losing my voice. Have a great day. Bye, guys. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10.